a couple strategies that I have to calm pre-race nerves. One of those strategies is something that I use throughout my training for that race. And that is, I think about my race during workouts, during long runs, so that when I get to race week, when I get to race day, my race is something that I'm familiar with because I've thought about it a lot. So for example, when I'm doing a workout, I'll pick a repeat and I'll say, okay, this is X section of my race. I'm going to think about how I want to be feeling. I'm going to visualize myself racing that piece of the race, and I'm going to really focus on the pace that I hope to run. Or I'll do the same thing for a section of a long run as well. And that way, if I start to accumulate these pieces of just visualizing myself during a race and practicing how I want to feel, come race day, come race week, when I get nervous, I think about those moments of my training, and that really helps me feel a sense of preparedness. It helps me feel confident and excited about the race that I'm going to do. There's a couple of things that I do to stay engaged during a race. One of them is that I will try to break up the race into smaller pieces. Sometimes that's by distance, just I'm gonna break this race up into miles or half miles. And then sometimes if I'm racing a cross-country race or a road race, I'll break up the race into certain pieces of the course or certain landmarks that I will see along the race. And whether or not I'm breaking up the race by distance or by geographical feature, I try to focus on one specific task during that section or during that piece of the race. And sometimes that's, okay, I'm going to try to close the gap between myself and another runner ahead of me during that time. Sometimes I'm just focusing on running a specific pace during that section of the race, or I'll focus on my form, my breathing, just staying relaxed. But regardless of how I break up the race or what I focus on, just by making the race into smaller sections, that makes it easier and more manageable to stay engaged, but then also accomplish that task or that goal that I set out to do. There's usually one thing that motivates me to get out for a run on a tough day, and that's thinking about a previous time where it was also a tough day to get out and run, and I did it anyway. I think about how I felt once I got out for that run and how I felt after that run. And I've yet to have a time when I do that, when I go out for a run where it's been a struggle to get out and I say, yeah, I was definitely better off staying inside and not running. That doesn't happen. Usually when I'm out there running or when I finish, I just feel so relieved and so happy that I did make the time, or I did go out and get out for a run, because it's always a positive addition to the day. So when I need a little extra motivation to get out for a run, I think about previous times where I also struggled to get out, but I did it anyway, and I think about how I feel. Another thing that I do too is I'll give myself permission to adjust what I had planned to do that day. So if it's a tough day, I'm going back and forth on whether or not I should go out for a run. I'll sometimes just say, you know what, I was planning on running 6 miles today, but I'll be really happy with 3 or 4. Or I was planning on doing a workout today. That's okay, I can push it back until tomorrow and just go out for a jolly jog or something like that. And then usually by giving myself permission to make adjustments to what I was planning to do, helps me get out the door. And then not only does it help me get out the door, but once I'm out there, I'm like, you know what? I can do what I initially planned to do today. It's going to be fine. I feel good. I'm happy that I'm doing this.